From horse racing country to Pull Town, U.S. Hilltoppers into town to take on the Bowling Green Falcons here at the Hampton Inn Invitational inside the Stroh Center. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Lowe. Our color commentary not here tonight. Samantha Momire going to be tweeting along from home, but we're both going to be here, and it's going to be an exciting match tonight between the Hilltoppers and the Falcons. For Bowling Green, they performed last night very well. First match of the tournament, and the standout was Mia Tyler. She had a night last night, the young sophomore. Didn't get a whole lot of playing time last year, but now she's stepping up here, at least in the first game at home. We'll see what she does tonight. And moving forward for Bowling Green on the other side, we switch to a senior, Paige Briggs. Man, she had a good morning this morning. That's because Western Kentucky, they already played a strong match number 1 today. This will be their second of the day, the third overall of the night. Stroh Center Volleyball coming up next.
The $6 Your Way deal at Burger King is a triple win. Your choice of a bacon double cheeseburger or a rodeo double cheeseburger. Win. Plus fries? Win. And chicken fries? Win. The all-new $6 Your Way deal. It's a win-win-win. Only at Burger King.
T-Mobile has 5G here, and we also cover you up here. Yup. Get free Wi-Fi now with streaming all flight long. We do coverage differently, with expanded high-speed data across the world. So you're connected here, and here? Not yet. But down here, you're covered with a year of AAA roadside assistance on us. On the ground, in the air, or overseas, T-Mobile has coverage beyond the expected.
It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Welcome back inside the Stroh Center, getting ready to go, the Falcons and the Hilltoppers. And one of the things that you may notice right off the bat, both teams wearing black uniforms, a stand of unity, hashtag blackout racism, both teams standing for a racial injustice that occurred this past week in a volleyball match between Duke and BYU. So a little bit different, the teams both wearing black uniforms, but for a good reason tonight. And we are set to get underway. Starting lineups for both teams: Paige Briggs, Lauren Matthews, Callie Bauer, Abby Schaefer, Katie Eisenbarger, and Katie Howard for the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. On the other side for Bowling Green, Jelianese Torres, Petra Androva, Jessica Andrews, Kat Manley, Hannah Lauby, Caitlin Meyer, and Alexis Mattil. And a reminder, no color commentary. Flying solo tonight, but Samantha Momire going to be tweeting along from home. So I'm sure she's got her eyes set to the screen, just as we do here inside the Stroh Center. Lauby the first serve for Bowling Green, and a service error. The first point of the match will go to the Hilltoppers. Same thing, back the other way. Bowling Green takes over again. Petra Androva now. Played over, up front. Double contact called. The point goes to Bowling Green. So Androva will continue to serve. Bowling Green out to a 2-1 lead. Back-to-back service errors, and the point there, the double contact. So here goes Androva, left to right. Back across, the block was right there. Out of play, though. Manley and Mattil were up front. Now back to serve Katie Howard. Jelianese Torres, now Lauby. Meyer with the attack. Back to Lauby. Here's Manley over the block. Point goes to Bowling Green. It was touched at the net. And here's another look at it. Here comes Manley, and there's the touch right there on the outside. Mattil now to serve. Right into the back, Abby Schaefer. Hilltoppers bring it back across. Mattil up in the air. Meyer will play it across. Free ball, Hilltoppers. A light touch over the block, and it works out for Paige Briggs. We noted at the top of the broadcast that Briggs is going to be one of the players to watch for tonight for Western Kentucky. 22nd ranked in the country. Still early in the season. Lauby sets up Manley on the outside. It'll come right back off the dig. Torres to Manley once again. Into the block, out of play. Point comes back to Bowling Green. Bowling Green will make a change, and here comes Mia Tyler. Fresh off the big game yesterday. Jaden Walls back to serve. Jaden, the youngest of the two Walls sisters. Two sets of sisters on this Bowling Green team, the Laubys and the Wallses. Torres up to Manley. That attack long. On the attack from the sophomore. Callie Bauer now back for the black and red. Across, Torres down, Walls, set pass. That was Jessica Andrews. Block at the net, Andrews and Tyler. Jessica Andrews uses every bit of that 6'4" frame at the net. Now Manley back to serve, just over the tape, into the back row, back forward once again. Hilltoppers trying to answer. Torres digs it out from Briggs. Tyler in attack. Back the other way, blocked at the net. Andrews and Tyler once again. A couple of strong combination blocks up front for the Falcons. Kat Manley continues on into the back row. Back left corner this time. Blocked at the net. That time it was Indrova and Andrews, but out of play. So the Hilltoppers take the point. There's Paige Briggs. Ortonville, Michigan, played at Lake Orion High School. Jaden Walls sets across. Mia Tyler. Dug out by Schaefer. Falcons a chance to go again. Tyler powers it through the block. Andrews will go out. Mathilde back in. Jelly Anise Torres back to serve things up for the Falcons. Over the tape into the back row. Schaefer there. Popped up in the air. And it'll be another point for Bowling Green. Torres again. Just over the tape this time. The service receive, a struggle right now for the Hilltoppers. Schaefer was set up, but off the left. Torres will continue to attack. Off the tape. Schaefer able to get that one. Returned. And a big one. Katie Eisenbarger. Here's another look. Off the tape. Schaefer able to get to it. Eisenbarger up and down. At the front of the net. There'll be a point for Bowling Green. The attack went long from Lauren Matthews. Caitlin Meyer coming back in. Hannah Laube in as well. We've yet to see Petra Indrova take a swing at the ball. But she's on the front right now for Bowling Green. Laube serves over. Schaefer on the other end. Matthews tries again and made it look easy up front. Back again. Bowling Green up 3. Meyer with an attack into the block. Back row. Forward. Matthews again. That one is in. So Western Kentucky will keep the serve right now. Attack percentage right now, 250 to Bowling Green's 182. Service error. It goes long. Ashley Hood couldn't keep it in the lines. Petra Androva. If you're a Bowling Green volleyball fan, you know that name very, very well. One of the all-time greats to play in a Bowling Green uniform. VG Athletics just coming out with a list of their top 50 female athletes in school history. And Androva was inside the top 10, and she's still actively playing, if that tells you anything about Petra Androva. Up front, Matthews a big swing into the block of Matilda Meyer. Laube sets up Matilda, blocked down by Matthews. Katie Howard now to serve. Western Kentucky trying to cut the margin. Laube sets up Meyer off the block and out of play. What a powerful swing from Caitlin Meyer. The ball just sent straight up in the air and down out of play, actually just directly over my shoulder back here. You saw it on the bottom half of your screen. Matil across. Sneaky attack there from Callie Bauer. Didn't work out. But the power from Briggs gets the point for the Hilltoppers anyhow. Abby Schaefer back. Androva on the end of it. Laube going to set up Meyer again. Caitlin Meyer. At some point this year, Caitlin Meyer will likely end up on the top of the kills list for the Bowling Green Falcons. We're a ways away from that yet, but that's going to be something that we're watching throughout the course of the season. Because if all goes as planned, and as it has gone in the past in the career of Caitlin Meyer, she's going to make it there at some point. Jaden Walls with a service error into the mesh. Callie Bauer now. Western Kentucky has had a hard time cutting the deficit to within 3. We'll see if they can do it here. Bauer across, Torres underneath of it. Walls going after it, but it was Androva. Tyler across the court. On the outside, Briggs tries to power through. Manley. Torres up to Androva, into the back, now into the net. Briggs tried to save it with a footer. But Petra Androva registers a kill on her first attack. We'll go to the break. Bowling Green on top of Western Kentucky, 15-11.
The $6 Your Way deal at Burger King is a triple win. Your choice of a bacon double cheeseburger or a rodeo double cheeseburger. Win. Plus fries? Win. And chicken fries? Win. The all-new $6 Your Way deal. It's a win-win-win. Only at Burger King.
T-Mobile has 5G here, and we also cover you up here. Yup. Get free Wi-Fi now with streaming all flight long. We do coverage differently, with expanded high-speed data across the world. So you're connected here, and here? Not yet. But down here, you're covered with a year of AAA roadside assistance on us. On the ground, in the air, or overseas, T-Mobile has coverage beyond the expected.
It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Trying to keep it alive with a hill, but instead, Petra Androva, first attack, first kill for number 6. The black and orange on top of the black and red right now. A 4-point lead for the Falcons. Jaden Walls digging the music here inside the Stroh Center. And Julia Walls going to check in. So both Wallses, we alluded to them both earlier. Both in at the same time right now for Bowling Green. 5 and 15, Julia Walls, a service error. Julia Walls rotated with Jillianese Torres in that libero spot last year. Briggs serving for Western Kentucky. Mia Tyler into the block. Hilltoppers keep it alive. Across, out of the back row. That was Briggs. Overpass went back across. Walls going to set up Indrova. And Indrova uses that big swing through the block. Touched not once, but twice. Another look at it. Back set. And just touched right there. Just once. But it was touched to the back row by Callie Bauer. Attack from Kendall Coyle results in a Hilltoppers point. Western Kentucky going to make a change. Callahan Wiegand, the freshman from Louisville. Over with the right hand. And just pushed right back down. Lauren Matthews, listed at 6 feet tall, but playing a whole lot larger than that. So it'll be Wiegand again. Along it goes. Good job by Indrova and Julia Walls to recognize that on the back row. Laube in for Tyler. Meyer going to come back in for Jaden Walls. So up front, it'll be Meyer, Indrova, and Mattil right now for Bowling Green. Laube back to serve. Across, Matthews the attack. Torres, a nice dig, goes back across. Hilltoppers will try again. Again, it's Matthews, and that one right at the same spot, this time finding hardwood. Ashley Hood, downing the number 22, back to serve. Western Kentucky now, we mentioned that three-point margin, finally able to eclipse that. They're within 2 now. Indrova plays across, set pass there. Matthews again, tipped at the net. And tangled up between Meyer and Mattil. Mattil kind of lost track of it. So another point for the Hilltoppers. Bowling Green going to take a timeout. But they're still up by 1. So the first timeout of the match going to be taken by Coach Daniela Tomic. And there you see the Hilltoppers. Travis Hudson in his 28th season with the program. And anytime you see a coach with a team for that long, it speaks to the success that they've had since they've been there. And with the Hilltoppers having that 22nd national ranking here to start the season, you can certainly tell that Hudson is looking to keep his team on top as they go throughout the year. Let's take another look at some Petra Indrova highlights, because who can't get enough of Petra Indrova? Such a strong player for Bowling Green on the back set from Walls. That was 1. And there's a look at the Falcons talking things over on the bench. And you see right there, it gives you just such a good look at how tall Jessica Andrews is. A freshman for the Falcons, but 6'4". Out of Guelph, Ontario. The Hilltoppers and the Falcons file back out onto the floor, and we'll continue on here following the Daniela Tomic timeout. Ashley Hood taking a dribble. No jump serve. This time it was a little bit of a jump serve. Stayed on the ground earlier and drove it into the block. And Jennifer Rush standing strong at the net. So Hood will serve once again. A good look there at Lauren Matthews. Walls goes down to dig it out. Meyer tries to attack, but Matthews is right there, and her team is fired up. Western Kentucky, their first lead since the opening part of the match. Nice job by Walls to dig it out, but as we talked about, Matthews, 6 foot, but she plays real tall up front. Walls digs it out off the tape once again. Back across, Matthew going to attack, touched over, Laube down to get it, and drove a back set across. Caitlin Meyer gets the point for the Falcons, right down the line. 18 all. And a set very similar to the ones we experienced in the match before this one, Northern Kentucky versus DePaul here at this Hampton Inn Invitational. Androva served across. Briggs was there. An attack blocked at the net, but off the block it came right back down to the floor. Laube couldn't get to it in time. Jennifer Rush, another look. Strong right hand, went right into Manley, and Laube just couldn't close in time to get enough underneath the ball. Here's Katie Howard now with a 1-point lead for the Hilltoppers. Long and wide. Back and forth, even again. Alexis Mattil back. Over with the right. That one is long. So back-to-back service errors. And I'm sure when we check in with our at-home color commentary, Samantha Momeyer is going to say that that's one of the things that needs to change when we go into set 2. Across from Schaefer. Meyer going to try the attack. The block stands tall for the Hilltoppers once again. Briggs and Eisenbarger. So now it's a 2-point lead for Western Kentucky. Schaefer with the right hand. Manley, Laube, back to Manley, and they get it. Petra Androva offering up some encouragement to Jaden Walls. Walls back, trying to even it back up. 21-20, Hilltoppers on top. 22-20. Back goes Callie Bauer. Ashley Hood comes off the floor for the moment. Bauer just over the tape. Torres digs it out. Jaden Walls going to set to Tyler on the far side of the floor. Briggs on the other end, blocked, out of play. Manley and Andrews had the timing, but a perfect attack from Paige Briggs. Callie Bauer continues to serve down the line. It's long. Back to the Falcons. Daniela Tomic, head coach for Bowling Green, comes out of the chair to talk to her team. Manley across. That one is long. So Bowling Green, 5 service errors apiece for both teams right now. And just like that, set point for the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Briggs back. Torres, now Walls. Androva's going to take the attack, and the block for Western Kentucky wins them set number 1. Kennedy Coyle along with Katie Eisenbarger. The teams will swap sides. We'll go to set number 2. The Hilltoppers on top of the Falcons, 1-0. And here's another look at the set clincher. Katie Eisenbarger. One more time.
The $6 Your Way deal at Burger King is a triple win. Your choice of a bacon double cheeseburger or a rodeo double cheeseburger. Win. Plus fries? Win. And chicken fries? Win. The all-new $6 Your Way deal. It's a win-win-win. Only at Burger King.
T-Mobile has 5G here, and we also cover you up here. Yup. Get free Wi-Fi now with streaming all flight long. We do coverage differently, with expanded high-speed data across the world. So you're connected here, and here? Not yet. But down here, you're covered with a year of AAA roadside assistance on us. On the ground, in the air, or overseas, T-Mobile has coverage beyond the expected.
It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. Then we took a hard left in East Africa. A right at Baja. A 180 in the empty quarter. And that 65-degree incline at Hell's Revenge. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Before my patient died, she was smiling.
When you're smiling,
I don't really know what it is, but I'm seeing it everywhere.
the whole world smile with you.
I am not gonna keep running.
You've seen it. Only in theaters.
Marathon has the fuel to keep your engine running at peak performance, because you never know where life is going to take you.
Back here inside the Stroh Center, 5 kills for number 5. Lauren Matthews has been all that and more for Western Kentucky. Big blocks at the net. You saw that vertical. Matthews just able to get up. And having a good time with the coaching staff on the sideline. His laps to go around on the Hilltopper side. As we're doing something that we haven't done here at the Stroh Center in the last couple of years. And that's switch sides. And there's our at-home color. Samantha Momire. Service game, I told you guys she was going to be picking on the service game for both teams. 10 service errors combined right now, and I agree. And that's a place where both teams are going to need to clean it up moving forward. Just about ready for the start of set number 2. Bowling Green will be looking for the equalizer. We'll see how they come out in the second set. Jessica Andrews going to be up front. Andrews and Matthews. That's a net showdown there between those two. And Western Kentucky will serve first. Katie Eisenbarger, who got the block to end set number 1, is going to kick things off to get us back underway. Manley underneath of it. Laube going to set up in Drova. Point number 1, Bowling Green. So much power from number 6. And you see stone cold face, no emotion, back to serve. Androva going through a routine. Right hand, jump serve, into the back row. Briggs, set up. And Androva just couldn't handle it. Off the attack from Kennedy Coyle. The 6'1" sophomore out of Bloomington. So Ashley Hood will serve again for the Hilltoppers. First time here in set number 2. Right at Kat Manley. Laube set up backside. Lauren Hovey. Manley tried it. But Bowling Green struggling to get started here in the second set as they conceded 2 consecutive points. We'll see if Hood can keep that service game polished up. And on cue, a service ace. And that was something Western Kentucky did not have in set number 1. Just dove to the floor right in front of Kat Manley. Hood again and Manley. That one right at the net. And the point goes to Bowling Green. Matthews touched it over the top. Travis Hudson going to make the argument. And he can plead his case, but it looked to me as if the right call was made. Matthews, the hands came over the net and came parallel almost with the floor. Across, little touch over the block. Androva going to set up Manley. Off the block, Bowling Green. Now they're starting to find their step. Kat Manley leading the team right now in kills with 4. Androva and Meyer right behind at 3. Jelianese Torres across with a serve. Schaefer digs it out. Set pass there to Matthews. Blocked up front. Manley and Mattil, M&M's. Torres to serve once again. Across, another attack, tipped off the block. Torres digs it out. A set pass for Manley. Through the block and out the back. Bowling Green retakes the lead by 2. Bowling Green, effective work right now with Torres back to serve. Another return there, Jennifer Rush. Androva went down, Manley went up to swing. Across the ball came, Matthews tries it, Torres keeps it alive, but Androva can't slide back underneath the ball. So the Hilltoppers quick to answer back. But Daniela Tomic out of her chair in a round of applause. Loves the effort from her squad. Katie Howard now. Howard into the bottom of the tape. The first service error of the second set. Will give the serve back to the Falcons. Jaden Walls and Caitlin Meyer come in. Lauren Hovey, one of the freshmen, in and then back to the bench. Laube goes back to the bench as well. Jaden Walls, high arcing serve. And just outside the line. The point awarded to Western Kentucky. The Falcon faithful in the stands weren't happy about it, but not much argument from the players or the coaching staff. Schaefer across. Meyer underneath it. Walls back to Meyer. Across. Dug out by Howard. Briggs tries the attack. And Mattil and Manley there once again. Manley with a service error for Bowling Green. So that's a couple in a row now we've seen. But about 10 to 12 points in before we got either of those service errors. So both teams kept it clean to start. And the Falcons hold a 1-point lead for the moment. Callie Bauer across, Manley underneath of it. Jaden Walls sets up Indrova. Indrova tips it over the block. Bauer back to it. Here's an attack from Briggs, touched by Indrova. Now Torres. Manley attacks out of the back. Back across. Another attack from the Hilltoppers. Torres, Walls, Indrova up front. Briggs outside, down the line. It's in. The Hilltoppers get the point. 7-7. And there's another look down the line for Paige Briggs. Jaden Walls pops it up. Meyer goes back on the attack. It's touched in the back row by Katie Howard. Couldn't handle it. And there you see Travis Hudson shakes his head a little bit. A little bit of a sigh there from the veteran head coach. Mattil serves across. Schaefer underneath of it. Set pass there. And Katie Howard makes up for it with a big swing. Paige Briggs is going to go back to serve once again. 5 kills. Second for the Hilltoppers so far with the running total. One behind Lauren Matthews. Briggs across. Manley down. Digs it out. Wall sets up Meyer. Fired back down. Caitlin Meyer, nothing shy of impressive. Lauren Hovey back in, as well as Hannah Lauby. Lauby across, Schaefer. There's Bauer. Swing there, net violation called on Jennifer Rush. Not a net violation, rather, but they're going to say she didn't get it into the block. It was into the tape and didn't touch any of the Falcons up front. So 4 touches was the call. Lauby to serve once again into the back row. Set pass, sent down hard. Katie Eisenberger. Eisenberger, another one of the fifth-year players for the Hilltoppers. Set up and played down between the block beautifully. Looked like Hovey and Andrews just a little bit loose up front. Eisenberger going to go over and talk with Travis Hudson. Spot going to get taken care of on the floor. Spot of condensation. Callahan Wiegand serves it into the net. A service error puts Bowling Green back out in front, 11-9. And there you see that running total between the two sets, 7 aside. They've kept it a little cleaner here in the second set. Both had 5 in the first, 2 in the second thus far for either side. The serve across, back on the attack, and back with another point, Kennedy Coyle. Ashley Hood will serve again. The Toppers down by 1. Torres, Lauby, across. Hovey blocked by Matthews. A combination block there. Matthews did a nice job alongside Jennifer Rush. All Rush. Matthews leaping in from the side. Ashley Hood across again at Cap Manley. Schaefer able to dig it out. Set pass here. Lauby goes down to get it. Torres setting up Indrova. Touched by Matthews. Big swing there. Torres, an emphatic dig. But the attack long out the back. The Hilltoppers back out in front by 1, 12-11. There you see the dig totals between the two teams. That category very even as well, as have been the first set and now this one. Manley, just a light touch over the net. Swing coming from Rush. It finds its way into the back corner. Ashley Hood will continue to serve, a 2-point lead now. Torres down, Laube, set pass, Manley, fires back into Hood, and out over the scoring table. So Kat Manley, who's been Bowling Green's best attacker so far tonight, 6 kills. She's looked a little shaky with that receive, so maybe that'll boost some confidence. Jelly knees Torres across. Rush will return. Torres underneath of it. Laube. Beautiful set pass to Mattil. Let's take another look. Laube just left it hang for Alexis Mattil, and she capitalized. Torres across, kept alive with the foot, and into the bleachers. Bowling Green retakes the lead. Torres across in the back. Schaefer couldn't keep it in front of her. Hilltoppers had to go back to retrieve it. Manley gonna attack again, and she tallies another kill. 7-4-8. Kat Manley, 7 kills so far as Bowling Green has the lead, 15-13 in set number 2. There was a look at Jennifer Rush.
The $6 Your Way deal at Burger King is a triple win. Your choice of a bacon double cheeseburger or a rodeo double cheeseburger. Win. Plus fries? Win. And chicken fries? Win. The all-new $6 Your Way deal. It's a win-win-win. Only at Burger King.
It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Auto Owners insures your car. Because sometimes something from out of left field can literally come from out of left field. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
For Bowling Green, the story has been Kat Manley. We mentioned struggled with the receive, but that is where she's been strong on the attack. 7 kills on the night for Kat Manley, and as they say, it's only 9:02. The night is still young. Torres continues to serve here out of the media timeout. Played across. Hovey, Laube, back to Hovey. She registers the kill. Lauren Hovey. Kill number 1 tonight. Back across, Matthews touches it over. Laube gonna set up Manley this time into the back row real hard at Paige Briggs. She was able to handle it. Off the block coming back, Jennifer Rush. Shows that she's here to play as well. She's been real strong as a blocker up front, but she's done her fair share of attacking as well for the Hilltoppers. Ashley Hood and Paige Briggs going to get a spot of condensation wiped up in the back corner for the Hilltoppers. And back to the serve goes Katie Howard. Howard across, short. Manley comes up for it. Confidence that time, set back up by Alaube. Androva dives into the middle there. Manley going to go back on the attack. Manley gets kill number 8. And now Androva going to wipe up a spot on the Bowling Green side of the floor. Get some help from Kat Manley. Daniela Tomich having a talk with the coaching staff. Allison Cook and Alex Del Piombo. Across, Briggs going to try to rally, and she does. Western Kentucky gets the ball back, trailing 2. Falcons on top of the Toppers. Schaefer into the back middle. Androva was there. Walls sets up none other than Kat Manley. And if Bowling Green can hang on here in the second set, it's going to be because of number 8. She'll go back to serve, a smile on the face of Kat Manley. You saw some emotion there toward the bench. Across and long. Another service error. Hudson going to talk to his troops. Callie Bauer now. Back-to-back service errors. How many times have we seen that now here throughout the course of the match, both in set 1 and set 2? That's got to be at least the 3rd time that we've had back-to-back service errors. That'll push Alexis Mathilde back, the 3rd different server in the last 3 points. Across. Briggs, a strong attack there, out of position. Walls sets up Androva, who's blocked at the net. Briggs and Eisenbarger. You're going to see it. Walls with that back set. And Briggs was right there. And Hudson talking all the way across court to one of the officials. Briggs to serve. Androva digs it out. Manley tries to touch it over the block. Good recovery from Eisenbarger. The swing goes long, but it's tipped. The point will go to Western Kentucky. They narrow it back to within 1. Daniela Tomich came up quickly out of the chair like she might go for that challenge card, but instead stays on the bench. Briggs, light serve into the middle. Manley comes forward to get it. There's a big swing from Jessica Andrews. Laube and Hovey in for Meyer and Jaden Walls. Laube across. Briggs sets up rush. Long it goes. And the Hilltoppers on the floor said it was touched, and that will bring Travis Hudson out of the chair to challenge the call. Officials are going to go to the monitors, and we'll see if you guys can decide at home if there was a tip or not. The Hilltoppers seemed confident that there was. Immediately, right away, Jennifer Rush signaled that there might have been a touch. You're looking at Andrews and Hovey on the far side. And from those angles, it was really hard to tell. Was there enough convincing evidence? Looking for a tip? Possibly. Right now it was called a Bowling Green point. It would put the Falcons out in front by 3. If not, Western Kentucky would put the deficit within 1. And the official taking a long look. You see his screen. He's all the way zoomed in over there, trying to see if there was a touch. And this is one of those, is there enough evidence to overturn the call on the floor? He's come to a decision. He'll talk it over with the scoring table. And then he'll tell the Stroh Center, there was a touch. Point, Western Kentucky. So a successful challenge for Travis Hudson. And somewhere right in there, and it looks like it got the index finger of Jessica Andrews. So a points change there, 20-19. And Travis Hudson is still irked at something over there on that Hilltopper side. Not happy at all. And the officials are going to have a conversation. And Drova comes over to hear how this conversation goes. Kennedy Coyle there as well, and no. The point going to go back to Bowling Green. That was an interesting sequence of events. So it's not 20-19. Now we're back to 21-18. And Hudson fired up. And he's not letting the official walk away. And now Daniela Tomic is getting fired up. She's saying, let's play. In the Stroh Center, the students and the fans, they're going to back their coach. As the Stroh Center getting noisy now. Home court advantage here in a preseason tournament. Attack out of bounds down the line. Bowling Green adds another. And this was one of the things for Bowling Green last year when they got momentum. They were hard to stop. Laube continues to serve. Coyle got it into the block and down to the floor. So Western Kentucky cuts the Bowling Green lead to 3. Falcons within 3 points of taking the set. Lauren Matthews comes back out. The Hilltoppers will need her to step up, as she did back in the first set. Played across, Manley, Laube, Indrova. Tries to go cross court, Coyle. There's a strong attack, knocks back Torres. Andrews keeps it alive at the net. Matthews once again down to the floor. Another point for the Hilltoppers. Here's another look. And this kind of explosiveness is just what Lauren Matthews brings to the floor. Eisenbarger serving now over with the right hand. Manley, Laube, Hovey wanted to go to the back corner, cut off by Briggs. Matthews again finds hardwood. Now it's within 1. A timeout going to be called. Bowling Green ahead by just 1. Both teams in the red zone. Back and forth again here in set number 2. Travis Hudson. And this is one of those sets that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Bowling Green baseball helping out on the floor, keeping the floor clean, mopping up the condensation. All the Bowling Green teams do a really nice job helping each other out around campus throughout the course of the year. Some members of the women's basketball team were helping out during the last contest between Northern Kentucky and DePaul. Baseball team filling the duties tonight for Bowling Green and Western Kentucky. And certainly the place to be on campus this evening. A strong weekend of events here for the Bowling Green Falcons. Last night, men's soccer took on Ohio State. Ohio State came away with the victory after a Lawrence Wooten PK. Tonight, last night, and tomorrow, volleyball, a 3-day tournament here inside the Stroh Center. And then on Sunday, senior day for the Bowling Green women's soccer team on campus. They'll take on the University of Detroit Mercy Titans. Back to serve goes Katie Eisenbarger, trying to even the score. Bowling Green looking to hold on to that lead. Eisenbarger over with the right. Off the tape, Torres digs it out. Laube going to set back across. And Drova got to it. Free ball played over. Opportunity for the Falcons to capitalize. Hovey off the block. It falls to the ground. Bowling Green trying to get the Stroh Center fired up. 2 points away from evening us back up at 1 set apiece. Briggs going to mop the floors, and Drova awaits to serve. Petrin and Drova out of the Czech Republic. Over with the right hand into the middle of the floor. Set across, Matthews, Torres digs it out. Free ball right back down. Matthews, eyes on the prize the whole time, but the point awarded to Bowling Green. And here we're going to look at the net. Hudson, irate. And Matthews upset as well on the floor. And the Stroh Center is into it. Timeout going to be called by Western Kentucky. The noise inside the walls not going to give Coach Hudson much of a choice but to use the timeout. Bowling Green up by 3, 24-21. An interesting set point coming up. Daniela Tomic going to go have a conversation with the official. She said, "What was that about?" Daniela Tomic in her 11th season with Bowling Green, and when it has gotten down to it at the end of the year for the MAC, Daniela Tomic has had Bowling Green in the running almost every single season. They hosted 2 consecutive MAC tournaments here at the Stroh Center. They took on Ball State, conference runner-ups last year, as they fell to the Cardinals in Muncie. Hudson's flashed out the challenge card. Official going to look at the monitor, and it must have been quick because he already came back this direction. There's one swing. Torres dug it back out. So they're challenging a tip here. And now he'll go to the monitor and look this over. So Petra Androva is going to have to remain waiting in the wings. Tomic is going to have Androva go over to challenge, or ask about the challenge. And for a tournament at the beginning of the season, the Stroh Center is pumped up. This is the loudest I've heard this building in quite some time. And we're looking right here, and it looks like it may have caught the fingers lead. I think it caught the fingers. This could go with Western Kentucky. And they're going to have a conversation about it. The wave going through the Stroh Center right now. That's how pumped up these fans are to have this volleyball program back in action on campus. The student section into it. The fans are into it. Here comes the call. Point Bowling Green. And Hudson coming back over to talk to the official once again. Indrova ready to serve. Set point for the Falcons. Indrova across. They'll try to return. Coyle blocked at the net, but out of play. Andrews and Manley were both there. Still set point for Bowling Green. Western Kentucky needs at least 2 in a row. Ashley Hood sends it long. Bowling Green takes set number 2. 25-22, the Falcons rally back. We're even at 1 set apiece. The students, the Bowling Green faithful, they're pumped up. Here's another look. Kat Manley, absolute fire in set number 2.
The $6 Your Way deal at Burger King is a triple win. Your choice of a bacon double cheeseburger or a rodeo double cheeseburger. Win. Plus fries? Win. And chicken fries? Win. The all-new $6 Your Way deal. It's a win-win-win. Only at Burger King.
T-Mobile has 5G here, and we also cover you up here. Yup. Get free Wi-Fi now with streaming all flight long. We do coverage differently, with expanded high-speed data across the world. So you're connected here, and here? Not yet. But down here, you're covered with a year of AAA roadside assistance on us. On the ground, in the air, or overseas, T-Mobile has coverage beyond the expected.
It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. Then we took a hard left in East Africa. A right at Baja. A 180 in the empty quarter. And that 65-degree incline at Hell's Revenge. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Before my patient died, she was smiling.
When you're smiling,
I don't really know what it is, but I'm seeing it everywhere.
the whole world smile with you.
I am not gonna keep running.
You've seen it.
Get away from me!
Only in theaters.
Marathon has the fuel to keep your engine running at peak performance. Because you never know where life is going to take you.
Set, do it. Back here inside the Stroh Center, mini games taking place in between sets, and there are the totals. Western Kentucky out in front in the kill department. Their hitting percentage, their attack percentage has been better. Bowling Green, their service game always strong from season to season. They're winning that department right now, and we are even through 2 sets. 1 set, the first going to Western Kentucky, the last set going to Bowling Green. Both teams game planning for set number 3 coming up. Elton John and Dua Lipa here inside the Stroh Center, blaring over the speakers. Travis Hudson talking one over with the girls. You see Bowling Green funneling back out of the tunnel. Caitlin Meyer pumped up per usual. There comes Lauren Hovey, Jaden Walls. Everybody's been doing their fair share here in the early stages of this match. Set 3 going into a potential midway point. And there you see Samantha at home, very impressed with the play of Lauren Matthews, as are we here inside the Stroh Center. Lauren Matthews for Western Kentucky has been so impressive, indeed a beast. Now she spent some time off the floor for Western Kentucky in the middle of that second set, and that was when Bowling Green really went on their run when she came back in, 2 consecutive points. And here's a look at what she brings to the floor. This is what we're talking about. Up front, smooth swing, right down between Torres and another member of the Bowling Green team. And again, so consistent to her teammates. Let's go. Hovey making sure the sneakers are all knotted up. Maybe a double knot there for Lauren Hovey. Kat Manley talking things over with Alex Del Piombo. Associate head coach, 7th season here at Bowling Green. All 3 coaches, Tomich, Del Piombo, and Cook, have been here together for the past 6 years. Fearless leaders for the Bowling Green Falcons. They're rising to the occasion here to take on the 22nd ranked team in the country, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Let's get ready. Set number 3. Hannah Laube going to start the service game to initiate set number 3. Tied at 1, back at 0. Laube over with the right hand. Not the way you would like to start for the Falcons. His service error from one of your leaders, Hannah Laube. Laube in her 5th season with the program, using her COVID year to come back and play. One of 3 players, Laube, Meyer, and Julia Walls. Ashley Hood across, Manley underneath it. Laube sets up Indrova. Underneath of it, Schaefer, free ball, back over. Laube, set again. Indrova tips it over the block. Tried to at least. Hilltoppers able to return. Hovey sent down hard. And Lauren Hovey is finding her footing as a Falcon. That pushes Indrova back to serve. 2 freshmen right there. Jessica Andrews, Lauren Hovey. Indrova across, Briggs to it, got it off the bottom of the palms, and Matthews, a rare block at the net. The Falcons have not been able to defend very well against Lauren Matthews tonight, but Jessica Andrews and Kat Manley did that time. Indrova again, right down towards the floor. Schaefer had to work to dig that one out. Matthews answers right back, went right back at the block, and that time she got the result she wanted. And Lauren Matthews, so impressive. She and Kat Manley have both led the way, and coincidentally enough, they both have 9 kills. All the way across, Torres stuck the hands out. Manley tips it over the block. And with a surprised look on her face, looks back at her teammates. She appeared like she didn't expect it, poked it high into the air, and nobody able to get to it. First player in double figures in the kill department tonight. Matthews not going to let that stand very long. They continue to keep pace with one another, but Matthews will check out now. That'll bring in Katie Eisenbarger. Schaefer back to serve for the Hilltoppers. Indrova, Laube sets up Matil, blocked at the net, but it rolled along the tape long enough to get out of play. And Bowling Green will take that point. Here's a good look. You're going to see the ball coming right down the top of the tape. Indeed, out of bounds. And you saw Matil with a leg kick there. Fired up. Into the Bowling Green block, back down to Jaden Walls. Jelianese Torres, now Caitlin Meyer. Attacked it at the top of her leap. A high leap at that from Caitlin Meyer, so good at getting up. But the attack went long. We stay even, 4 apiece. Callie Bauer, Torres underneath it. Jaden Walls, back set, Manley. Hilltoppers able to keep it alive. Bowling Green thought they had the point. Jaden Walls sets it up to Meyer. Has to attack from the back portion of the court. Tipped at the net. Matil back down. Briggs is going to get another chance, and she delivers. Paige Briggs, kill number 7. Right through that block. Between the legs of Jelianese Torres. Callie Bauer. Androva has to come forward into the net. Jaden Walls could only get a piece of it. Daniela Tomic will take a couple of steps. Some encouragement to Petra Androva, maybe some words of wisdom. As Bauer will continue to serve. Torres, Jaden Walls across to Caitlin Meyer. And just in Hudson comes out of his chair onto the floor. Hands behind the head. And he's saying it was out of bounds by at least a foot. Shaking his head in disagreement. Now he'll just clap the hands. And another look. He may have a case. But he'll have to just walk the sidelines with the folded arms. But a quick point there for Western Kentucky during the replay. And the serve goes back to Briggs. Briggs across into the tape, and it just falls to the floor. Torres had it lined up, but when the ball catches the tape on that serve, it just alters the ball so much as to where it's going. Briggs again. Manley into the table. Meyer tried to get to it, but ran out of room. All the way committed, Caitlin Meyer. Almost all the way onto the table. And I'm not sure she could have committed much more than that. Western Kentucky, a 4-point lead as we go to the break. The Hilltoppers on top of the Falcons.
The $6 Your Way deal at Burger King is a triple win. Your choice of a bacon double cheeseburger or a rodeo double cheeseburger. Win. Plus fries? Win. And chicken fries? Win. The all-new $6 Your Way deal. It's a win-win-win. Only at Burger King.
T-Mobile has 5G here, and we also cover you up here. Yup. Get free Wi-Fi now with streaming all flight long. We do coverage differently, with expanded high-speed data across the world. So you're connected here, and here? Not yet. But down here, you're covered with a year of AAA roadside assistance on us. On the ground, in the air, or overseas, T-Mobile has coverage beyond the expected.
With Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more.
Yeah, just like that breakfast burrito.
There isn't too much hot sauce, is there? I have a sensitive palate.
I actually like hot sauce.
How about guacamole?
I don't really know what we're talking about anymore.
Burritos.
Insurance.
Geico.
Back here inside the Stroh Center, set number 3. The Hilltoppers on top of the Falcons, 9-5. Great song, by the way. 1 set apiece for both teams right now. So this set will break the tie. Whether we play 4 or 5, who knows at this venture in the game. Briggs, a service error coming out of the break into the bottom of the tape and into the ground. unable to clear the Hilltopper side. Alexis Mattil back to serve. Across, right at Schaefer. Set up for Coyle on the outside. Manley got it on her fingertips all the way forward. Now Meyer will just have to touch it over. Double contact going to be the call. Western Kentucky puts their lead right back at 4 points, and back comes Lauren Matthews. Right there. And Meyer looked at the official, but it appears like she knew that that might have been the case. Androva and Manley, some miscommunication, sends that ball way out the back. Both players reaching toward the other. Here comes Hannah Best for the Falcons. One of two players that can say, coming from high school to college, they're just down the road. Hannah Best played at St. Ursula Academy in Toledo. And then the other one, Kat Manley, played at Perrysburg, just up the road, about 12 minutes from here. Serve over. Walls sets up Meyer into the block, down to the hardwood. Caitlin Meyer can come from out of nowhere and rise up. So good with that attack when she's on the side. Hovey, Best, and Andrews back out front. Laube to serve into the back row. Schaefer was there. Set up. Coyle on the outside. Puts it down in that back corner. Here's a good look at Coyle. You see her come from almost out of your screen and delivers it cross court into the corner. Ashley Hood once again goes to the dribble back there, right side of your screen. Right to left right now. Torres, Laube, setting up Hovey. Touched on the way out. Point, Bowling Green. So now Best will go back to serve. Over with the right hand across the court. Schaefer has to shuffle to it. Matthews tries the attack. Off the block it goes. Lauren Matthews continues to be strong. A hitting percentage well over .350. Almost identical stat lines right now for Manley and Matthews. Both hitting .364. Hovey tries it into the back. Schaefer will have to send it back forward. Hood plays over the free ball. Torres gets to it. Laube sets up Manley. Manley answers back. Kat Manley trying to keep that fire burning from set number 2. Mattil and Manley right there talking to one another as they get set. Torres to serve from behind them. Across into the back row. Howard was there. There's an attack from Briggs. Bowling Green stops it up front. Matthews comes back, light touch, light contact, came over the net and got it back down, allowing Western Kentucky to continue to lead out in front right now. She'll head off the floor. Schaefer to serve, a service error. And that now number 21. Service errors between these two teams tonight. Caitlin Meyer back in. Jaden Walls back in. Laube and Hovey go off. Manley, Mattil, Meyer. And when Bowling Green's down in the orange, you heard it earlier, they're going to look like a pack of M&Ms running around out there on the floor. And an effective pack of M&Ms at that. Walls with a serve. Forward, Briggs with the attack. And got it over Manley and Mattil that time. Placed down right in the middle of the floor. And one of the things we can see here inside the Stroh Center, back behind the Bowling Green end right now, the DePaul coaching staff has stuck around. They're game planning for tomorrow, day 3 of this Hampton Inn Invitational. Caitlin Meyer. The Bowling Green not going to go quietly. The students fired up. And right back behind Lindsay LaPinta is where the DePaul coaching staff is game planning for tomorrow. LaPinta coming in for the first time. And Hudson coming out again onto the floor after Abby Schaefer has a conversation. LaPinta across. Briggs going to attack. Light touch there. Jaden Walls, nice job to get forward. Caitlin Meyer into the block. Couldn't feed it through. Kennedy Coyle has had a quiet but strong night. A nice combo there with Eisenbarger. Now Paige Briggs to serve once again. Hilltoppers still with that 4-point lead, 16-12. Over with the right, Torres down to a knee. Meyer tries the attack. Off the block, it goes straight up in the air. Bauer over to the side. Coyle tried to sneak it down. Didn't work that time. Meyer sends it down. Free ball played over. Wall's going to set up Meyer again. The block stopped out of play. And Meyer was right there. She put her arm up. She wasn't going to let any of her teammates go after that ball. She knew where she was at on the floor. And Caitlin Meyer is a player for Bowling Green. She's always so full of life. Always smiling, always dancing around the floor. She's always the one talking to her teammates, hyping them up. Mattil with the serve across. Schaefer, Bauer. Attack there. Jennifer Rush back into the action. Ball hung in the floor. Meyer got a piece of it, so did Mattil. But Bowling Green didn't have enough to get it back over. Eisenbarger back. Starts out to the side. Just over. Best underneath it. Walls set it up to Andrews. And it looked like she didn't get the part of her hand to it that she wanted. And it was a weak attack into the block. And that is going to lead to a timeout. And here's what you're going to see. Looked like she just got it off the wrong part of her hand. And Matthews was right there. So we'll have a timeout on the floor. Bowling Green using their second of 2 timeouts. Travis Hudson with his team. You see Lauren Matthews, she's been the star for the Hilltoppers right there in the middle, number 5. 12 kills for her. Paige Briggs coming in, who had a really strong morning. She's got 8 kills. Kind of spread out across the rest of the board. Jennifer Rush, Eisenbarger, Bauer, Howard, all contributing. And on the other side, it's about the same. 2 players well out in front. Kat Manley, Caitlin Meyer, 11 and 9. And then Indrova, Andrews, Hovey, and Mattil all registering some totals as far as the kills go also. Daniela Tomic talking about what she would like to see changed from the Falcons. A 5-point deficit they'll have to overcome here as we're well over halfway. A look at Kat Manley, Lauren Hovey, Hannah Laube, Petra Androva, Julia Walls, all the way across. Alexis Mattil, Mia Tyler, Alex LeBoy, Isabel Laube, the younger sister of Hannah Laube. We've seen both Wallses on the floor. And Isabel Laube hasn't been in yet tonight. Hannah Laube been in and out. And I think the only Falcon that we haven't mentioned is Madeline Lubke, so we'll go ahead and get that out of the way. Service error into the net, out of the timeout. Daniela Tomic gets the coach's point. There's the Eisenberger, 20 on the other side. Hannah Laube back to serve. Best, Hovey, and Andrews still up front. Torres and LaPinta on the floor as well. Set pass to Coyle. Andrews and Best strong with the block, but that time advantage goes to Jennifer Rush. Ashley Hood going to come back in. 19-14, the Hilltoppers leading the Falcons right now, trying to break what's a scoreless game right now, one set apiece, best of 5, so 3 games will win it. Hood over, Torres under it. Laube sets up Hovey on the outside. Schaefer under it on the other end. Again, there was Jennifer Rush. Hovey goes back on the attack, off the block towards Hudson. Bowling Green gets the point back. Hudson having a conversation with Callie Bauer. LaPinta goes off. Best back to serve. Just over the tape. Schaefer has to dig it out again. There's Bauer. There's Matthews. And they'll signal Western Kentucky point. Daniela Tomic, no time. In no time, she brought out that challenge card. And right there it was Matthews. And the official not going to go to the monitor. So Western Kentucky will get the point. Daniela Tomic went quickly to her feet. Mine must have been changed. Laube across. Manley puts it through the block. Mattil back in. Jelianese Torres to serve. Bowling Green got a clip away slowly, but also quickly. At this Hilltoppers lead, not the way to do it. Into the bottom of the tape. A service error from Jelianese Torres. Schaefer across. Back-to-back service errors again. And those totals continue to mount. 24 now. 13 for Western Kentucky and 11 for Bowling Green. Jaden Walls will serve. Mattil, Manley, and Meyer again up front. Jaden Walls over into the middle. Under it was Howard, and they sneak it across. Callie Bauer. Bauer right back to the Stroh Center wording on the baseline. She'll take a couple of steps in what would be the low post of the basketball court. As Eisenberger wipes up the floor. Bauer talked things over with Travis Hudson. Over with the right hand into the back row, right at Torres. Walls gonna set up behind her. Manley touches it over. And a pancake there from Schaefer kept it alive. Meyer tries to go through the block. And Alex Del Piombo tells her head coach that they should challenge. We'll see if they should. It was close there with Schaefer. Indeed, Bowling Green going to challenge. We'll see if we can get a different angle on it. Manley just tipped it over, and you can't tell from that angle because Briggs was right in the way. So as the official looks at the replay, I know our crew in the back room, they're scrambling to try to see if they have a better angle that they can show us here. Crew always doing a great job, and it's still early in the season here inside the Stroh Center. Plenty more action for the crew all throughout the year. Volleyball, women's basketball, men's basketball, and hockey. Here's another look from a different angle. Manley tipped it over, and it looked like Schaefer got under it. Impressive effort from the libero. And indeed, she did. Point Western Kentucky. 23-17. 2 points away from taking the set are the Hilltoppers. Their best player tonight, Lauren Matthews, off the floor. Her hitting percentage up to .400. Callie Bauer over at Torres. Jaden Walls going to try to set up Meyer. Double contact is going to be the call, and that'll push Western Kentucky within set point. A 7-point lead for Western Kentucky. So if the Falcons were to come back here in set number 3, it would be a tall task, but they overcame a large deficit last night in the first night as well. Manley the attack. It goes long. Hilltoppers take the set 25-17. Both teams will change ends once again. But the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers out in front now, 2-1. Here's another look. The pancake save made by Abby Schaefer.
The $6 Your Way deal at Burger King is a triple win. Your choice of a bacon double cheeseburger or a rodeo double cheeseburger. Win. Plus fries? Win. And chicken fries? Win. The all-new $6 Your Way deal. It's a win-win-win. Only at Burger King.
Bosch tools are built for workers. Bosch's powerful hammer drill has kickback control to help work go more smoothly when you need it. The 2-in-1 quickly changes between impact wrench and impact driver when you're slammed. And X-Lock switches wheels up to 5 times faster than standard grinders when you need to change tasks in a hurry. Bosch tools take care of the job and you. Bosch tools, what hard workers deserve. Learn more at BoschTools.com.
We pick up the phone because it's ringing. I should get this. Hello, this is Sam. How can I help you? That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
The Hisense 100-day guarantee. You'll regret nothing about the TV.
Now you can get awarded $100 when you buy a Hisense Google TV. That's $100 if you love it, 100 days to return it if you don't.
We're all about the playoffs. Tomorrow on ESPN2.
Fumble of joy.
More than a Thielen.
You hear what Darth Waver had to do after losing last week?
Is it as bad as what happened to Game of Jones?
Morning.
Back here inside the Stroh Center, the stats, they haven't changed much except the hitting percentage and the blocks have gone well up for Western Kentucky, and that's a large reason that they are out in front 2-1. A really strong set there from the Hilltoppers. They pulled away to an 8-point victory in set number 3, the most dominant set we've seen yet this match. But Bowling Green, they certainly know how to answer. We'll see if the Falcons can do just that. And let's take a look at one of the players for the Hilltoppers that's been sneaky all night, but sneaky is good. Kennedy Coyle has done an excellent job. There you see the back set. There's another attack. Got it down beside Torres. Here she comes again, just on the edge of your frame. Strong with the left hand there. Block up front. There was a combo with Eisenbarger. But Kennedy Coyle, a young underclassman that could help this Western Kentucky team make a run at it this season if things continue on and they continue to move up in that national top 25. Set number 3 about ready to commence. Western Kentucky will start with a serve. It will be Eisenbarger. And Eisenbarger, that side perpendicular approach. Across the court, Manley. There's Julia Walls. Lauren Hovey down to the ground. And Matthews, a different look there from her as she couldn't go right up with the attack. She had to try to set somebody else up. And it just went over the net and out. Inadvertent touch. Here comes Alex LeBoy. Paige Briggs, set past to Coyle, blocked up front. Coyle tries again. LeBoy, Matthews sends it back down. She'll try to do the same again. Bowling Green standing strong up front. Coyle again, the attack. The block pays off. Mattil and Tyler. The Falcons love it. Alex LeBoy will get to continue to serve. Junior from Avon, Ohio. Briggs, Bauer. Matthews sends over the free ball. Torres, Walls. Mia Tyler blocked at the net. It went right back at the Falcons. They were able to touch it, but couldn't get it over. So that'll lead Ashley Hood to serve. Hood across. LeBoy goes to the ground. Far side, Jaden Walls. Back up, the attack long. Jennifer Rush. Couldn't put it down to the floor fast enough. Torres will come off. Andrews back in. Mattil across. Schaefer there. Now Bauer. There's Rush again. Walls underneath of it, right at the net. Bauer able to return. Good volley here. Attack down the line. Across the floor, Mattil, Tyler. Walls returns. Bauer, Matthews. Jaden Walls goes down to get it. Mia Tyler into the block. Tyler again diving for it. Was Hovey not able to get there. An impressive point victory for Western Kentucky. Both teams put together a really good volley early on here in set number 4. Here's Katie Howard. Left to right across your screen. At LeBoy, Walls, Hovey on the other side. Bauer and Schaefer both went after it, and it works out for Bowling Green. Hovey to serve. Across, Schaefer, Bauer, Briggs with the attack, and right at Torres and out of play. There's so much power on the attack from Briggs. Hood gonna wipe up a spot on the floor, Daniela Tomich. Still with the intense look. Talking things over with Alex Del Piombo. Abby Schaefer. Torres, Jaden Walls, Mia Tyler, up and down. Briggs touched it as it went out of play. And now here at the start of set number 4, more of a rotation. We saw Mia Tyler, Alex LeBoy, Julia Walls, and Kat Manley back in. Walls over. Bauer to Briggs, into the block. Torres gets back underneath it. Walls set it right into the middle of the formation. Bowling Green's block pokes it up in the air. Walls this time to Manley, and down. Kat Manley continues her strong performance. "13 kills tonight. Other side, Briggs got a touch on her attack. Callie Bauer. Falcons continue to lead. Torres under it. Jaden Walls setting up Jessica Andrews and slammed down to the middle of the hardwood. 6'4", and with the arms extended, well taller than 7 feet. Torres in the back. Schaefer, Bauer sets up Briggs. Hovey. Now Torres. Manley tries another attack. To Bauer it went. Across to Briggs. Gets it down in that back corner. Katie Howard going to continue to wipe up the floor. We've had to do that a lot tonight. Jennifer Rush comes back in. Paige Briggs returns the towel. And back into the paint. Through the motion, right-handed, over, into the middle. Manley there. Jaden Walls sets up Manley. Briggs underneath it. Bauer. Good block by Bowling Green at the net. Touched across. Walls going to set up Manley again. Off the tape through the block. Coyle again, just touched over by Western Kentucky. Now at the net. Torres has to go back to get it. Walls sets up Manley. Into the block. And Coyle and Eisenbarger stand strong. And Manley tried to get it through. Hovey trying to get to the ball. Travis Hudson and Craig Berry both right there. Keeping the floor clean. Paige Briggs over with the right hand through traffic. It looked like Julia Walls and Kat Manley thought it might have been going long. They let it go, and it found its way down just in front of that back line. Julia Walls, Jaden Walls. An attack from Mattil, other way, attack by Coyle. Torres, Jaden Walls, Manley again. Kat Manley gets another kill. Make it number 14. And she's closing in on a career high, her career high 19. Jaden Walls back serving. up front towards the net. They'll have to touch it over. Julia Walls, nice job to adjust. Jaden Walls plays it forward. Manley again into the block. It came right back at her. It'll be a point for the Hilltoppers. It continues to be back and forth. We are tied at 8. Katie Eisenbarger back right in front of the Hilltoppers on the bench. That perpendicular run just over the net. Hovey, Jaden Walls. Manley from the other side. Yes, they're both working. So many words could be used to describe the performance of Kat Manley tonight. We'll just go with explosive. Alex LeBoy over into the back row. Briggs. Matthews tried the attack. The point went to Bowling Green just over the line. And there is Travis Hudson, who I don't know if he's just been upset all night, but every time we go to see Travis Hudson, he appears to be upset with something. Briggs going back. Free ball played over, but not in play. The Falcons building some momentum, a 3-point lead right now. Alex LeBoy trying to keep the Falcons out in front. Into the back row. Schaefer was there. Bauer there now. Over. Rush just gets it in. And now Hudson fired up because some miscommunication there. 2 different calls from both officials. And the yellow card pulled out of the pocket and thrown the way of Travis Hudson. And here's what we're talking about. The officials make 2 different calls. The point went to Western Kentucky. Hovey tips it over, wanted to go to the back corner, and it worked. Briggs got to it, but couldn't get it high enough for the attackers up front to get to it. So Bowling Green wants to hang on to that 3-point lead. A look at Manley, Julia Walls, Petra Androva, Madeline Lubke, Jelianese Torres coming over, Caitlin Meyer. A lot of the veterans waiting in the wings right now. Some of the younger underclassmen on the floor. Alexis Mattil awaits the whistle. There it is. Here we go, right to left, into the back row. Schaefer underneath it. Bauer gonna set up Matthews. Blocked up front. Hood across. There's Rush blocked at the net. Bowling Green adds another. Hovey and Andrews. Here's another look. Rush went right into the block. Hovey. Access denied. Mattil. Briggs moving over. Bauer to Rush again. It went long. Bowling Green now 5 points in front of Western Kentucky. And the energy level here inside the Stroh Center continuing to build. Alexis Mattil continuing to serve. That one into the middle. Bauer going to set up Matthews off of Mia Tyler. The Hilltoppers will take the point. Alexis Mattil does her job. Back to the bench she goes. Jelianese Torres back in. And on the other side, Katie Howard goes through her routine. Right hand off the top of the tape. Jaden Walls underneath it. There's Torres. Hovey going to try the attack. Blocked at the net. Out of play. Bowling Green takes the point, and that will send us to the media timeout. Let's take another look. Hovey, the attack into the block. Out of play it went. The Falcons on top.
The $6 Your Way deal at Burger King is a triple win. Your choice of a bacon double cheeseburger or a rodeo double cheeseburger. Win. Plus fries? Win. And chicken fries? Win. The all-new $6 Your Way deal. It's a win-win-win. Only at Burger King.
T-Mobile has 5G here, and we also cover you up here. Yup. Get free Wi-Fi now with streaming all flight long. We do coverage differently, with expanded high-speed data across the world. So you're connected here, and here? Not yet. But down here, you're covered with a year of AAA roadside assistance on us. On the ground, in the air, or overseas, T-Mobile has coverage beyond the expected.
It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Back here inside the Stroh Center, and Cat Manley has owned the night for Bowling Green. When they've been producing, she's been a large reason why. You see a couple of attacks there. And coming back into play, Hovey sends her serve long. So Western Kentucky trying to take advantage of the media timeout. They will, at least to start. They'll get a serve back into the hands of Abby Schaefer. Across, there's LeBoy. Jaden Walls to Andrews. Across, Bauer setting up Briggs. Down the line, dots it into the back corner. Excellent placement. And there's a look at Cat Manley and Samantha Momeyer helping us out from home. Indeed, Cat Manley has just been unstoppable. Bowling Green out in front by 3. Back across, Jaden Walls tries to dump it across the net into the middle. Briggs emphatically returns. Teammates pumped up over on the side as the Hilltoppers have it within 2. Nia Tyler comes back with a big swing. And the Bowling Green bench explodes. Nia Tyler smooth on the attack. Comes from all the way, backside, and just right over the block. A big swing from the 6'1" sophomore. Travis Hudson talking things over with one of his players as Katie Howard wiped up the floor yet again. Julia Walls across, Bauer set up, Bowling Green gets under it. Jaden Walls across to Manley, a high touch, comes back, Hood gets underneath it, Briggs across, Hovey underneath of it. Across again, ball wildly out of control. Who takes advantage? Cat Manley does. We talked about Manley closing in on 19 kills, which is her career high. She's at 16, 3 behind. Service error by Julia Walls as the serve goes into the net. Still a 3-point lead for Bowling Green. Callie Bauer across. Torres dives forward. Jaden Walls across to the consistent hand, Cat Manley. Hilltoppers answer back with Briggs. Halted at the net. They'll have to try again. It'll be Briggs again. Into the block. Out of play. Point Western Kentucky. Bauer will go again as Western Kentucky tries to put together a run. Julia Walls, Jaden Walls across. They want to go to Manley. Just touches it over that block. Coyle going to set it up for Briggs on the outside. Blocked at the net. Bauer goes down to get it. Schaefer sets up Briggs, and Briggs smartly just uses the fingertips and goes to the other side of the floor where nobody was at for Bowling Green. The Hilltoppers have cut it down to within one, 17-16. Both teams still with 2 timeouts on the board. As back and forth as this has been, we'll likely see those come later this set. At some point, Manley just over the block. It gets down. Cat Manley adds another. Torres now back to serve. Cat Manley up front. Mattil alongside. Briggs with the attack into the net. Point Bowling Green. Briggs too far on the downward aim. Puts the Falcons back out in front by 3. Jelly and his Torres up front. Bauer going to set the backside. Coyle, Julia Walls down to it. The dig comes all the way back over the net. Coyle has to reach back for it. Jaden Walls set up again. This time Mattil blocked at the net. Torres back to Manley. Off the tip, they get another. Cat Manley, 18 kills for Bowling Green tonight. A timeout will be called. And right there, another look at what Cat Manley is bringing tonight. And Bowling Green having fun right now, but also intense as they know they need to win this set for the match to continue. Western Kentucky ahead 2-1. Bowling Green trying to push it to 5. The second match of the day between Northern Kentucky and DePaul. It went 5, back and forth, extra serves in 2 different sets. Bowling Green would love to see this game go 5 sets as well. Cat Manley, the star, right in the middle. Daniela Tomic talking things over. And there's Travis Hudson and his crew. Bowling Green has done a nice job as of late at slowing down Lauren Matthews. And in fact, Paige Briggs is taking over the lead in the kill department for Western Kentucky. She's got 15. Matthews has 14. Manley on the other side for Bowling Green, 18 kills, 1 away from a career high. And Lauren Hovey, the next closest, tied with Caitlin Meyer, 9 kills. So Jelly Anise Torres to serve. Bowling Green a 4-point lead. They've entered the red zone at that 20-point mark. Schaefer toward the net. And Callie Bauer wasn't sure where it was at. Cat Manley was right there. But a service ace for Jelly Anise Torres. Across again, there's Schaefer. Bauer now played forward. Briggs, an attack right at Torres and out the back. Western Kentucky not letting Bowling Green get too far away. Paige Briggs back to serve. Briggs across, right hand, Manley underneath it. Jaden Walls gonna go right back to Cat Manley. Over the block. Rush got to it at the net. Both teams keep it alive. Manley tries again, and she couldn't make double contact, so after one, it fell to the floor. Nobody able to get there. Western Kentucky trims the deficit. Down by 3. Briggs will serve once again. Off the tape. Laube saves it. Walls keeps it alive. Bowling Green gets it back across. A nice save. Bauer to Coyle. One touch at the net. Torres down. Jaden Walls sets up Manley. tied for the career high in kills for Kat Manley. That's number 19. Kat Manley, 19 kills. Next stop is a new career high. Jelianese Torres and Jaden Walls, an exceptional job in front of the scorer's table just to keep the play alive. And Bowling Green back to a 4-point lead, taking care of the spot on the floor where Walls and Torres went down. And now Jaden Walls back to serve. Walls over. Bauer set up in the middle. Coyle gonna have to go to Rush. Tries to tip it over the block. The block was back on the ground. And there it is. Lauren Hovey gets a kill. Contribution all around. The freshman in double figures now for kills. Bowling Green within 2 points of taking set number 4. Jaden Walls across, over the tape. Schaefer goes down to her left. Rush gonna try the attack. Big swing out the back. No contact. Set point, Bowling Green. Jaden Walls gonna try to even it back up. Plays it over. A service error. (24-19). Western Kentucky will need at least 5 points in a row here. They'll have to do it out of the hands of Eisenbarger. Across, Julia Walls had to go to an awkward position to try to get the ball. And after she touched it, just went into the bleachers there behind the Falcons. Western Kentucky nips the lead to 4. Eisenbarger again. Short, Hovey, Walls, Manley, into the back. Matthews tries an attack. And it works out. And Alexis Mattil slow to get up. Bowling Green going to call a timeout. And here's a look at the net. Matthews went up. And maybe some contact there between the legs of Matthews and the legs of Mattil. Bowling Green going to call a timeout anyhow. See if they can't halt the momentum of the Hilltoppers. 24-21, Bowling Green trying to draw back even 2 sets apiece. Kat Manley says, let's go. You see her there on the right side of your screen, sitting down. Bowling Green trying to close out here. And here's the upcoming schedule for Bowling Green. DePaul tomorrow. Brad Woznicki back in this chair here. He'll be by himself. And then after that, MAC play for the Falcons. Kent State in the first home MAC series against Ohio coming up at the end of September. But you see the big break, 3 weeks between DePaul and Kent State. So the Falcons will have some time to improve, take what they learned from their tournaments here at the opening part of the season, and see how they can translate that into MAC play. We talked earlier about how good Daniela Tomic and the Falcons have been in the MAC the past few years. Falcon faithful on their feet. Eisenbarger across for the Hilltoppers. Walls up to get it. Manley has to scramble to it. Hovey plays it over. Double contact the call. Western Kentucky climbing back into it. It was 24-18 at one point. Now 24-22. Eisenbarger again. You see her talking to herself just over. Manley, Walls. Hovey tips it over the block. Down to get it was Bauer. The attack there from Rush. Off Torres, out of play. The Toppers have it within 1. And Bowling Green going to go right back. Another timeout going to be called by Daniela Tomic. 5 consecutive points for the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. And speaking of those Hilltoppers, here's a look at what's coming up for them. Northern Kentucky. They'll play them tomorrow morning. They'll also play them on September 8th, 6 days from now. Then they'll play another MAC opponent, Toledo, followed by Austin Peay and Tennessee. Interesting there, some of the commonalities between the schedules for these two teams. Bowling Green beat Tennessee in one of their most recent matches. And the Vols on the schedule for the Hilltoppers within the next 5 games. Eisenbarger has to continue to serve. At least one more point for Western Kentucky would push us to extra serves. Will Eisenbarger deliver for the Hilltoppers, or will the Falcons be able to end set number 4 right here? Manley going to wipe up the floor. Squeaks the tires. Eisenbarger, perpendicular run, just over, Hovey under it. Walls sets up Manley, off the block. Western Kentucky keeps it alive. 24 all. And now somebody's going to have to score 2 points in a row for Western Kentucky. They're on a 6-point run. Eisenbarger, once again, over Julia Walls. Jaden Walls across, Hovey into the block. Down it goes. Bowling Green ends a 6-point run. Coyle to wipe up a spot. Alex LeBoy back to serve. Set point once again for Bowling Green. Standing, heels on the baseline. Forward, LeBoy, Briggs, Bauer, Matthews. Torres went down to get it, but Western Kentucky answers. Ashley Hood again. Things all tied up at 25. Hood over, LeBoy. Jaden Walls goes back to Hovey. Into the back row, dug out by Briggs. Matthews off the block, out the back. Match point, Western Kentucky. Travis Hudson talking things over with Ashley Hood. Here comes the serve from Hood. Short, Torres goes for it. Jaden Walls, Mia Tyler blocked right back into Tyler. She gets it. Walls sets up Hovey. Fired down. Schaefer gets in front of it. Free ball played over by Rush. Walls sets up Hovey again. Blocked down. Western Kentucky takes the win. Western Kentucky 27-25. They battled back from down 6. Daniela Tomic going to challenge. So Western Kentucky, they celebrated, but they'll have to wait for an official ruling. There's the challenge card. And perhaps challenging whether it was in or out of play. And it looks to be well in. We'll see what they're looking at. Travis Hudson already packing up. He's got the backpack, already walking away, and there's the official ruling. Western Kentucky takes the match 3-1. A valiant effort for both squads. But Western Kentucky, what a rally there at the end. 6 points down. It was 24-18. They came all the way back to take the set 27-25. And here's a look at the final match statistics for both teams. Kills very similar. Western Kentucky a big advantage in the blocks department. And you see the hitting percentage favored the Hilltoppers as well. A hard-fought match for both teams. Paige Briggs and Lauren Matthews both tie 16 kills, the team lead for Western Kentucky. A career high night for Kat Manley. She ties that 19 kills career high. Wasn't able to get to 20, but a strong performance from Kat Manley. Definitely something that Bowling Green wanted to see moving forward as they get ready to go into MAC play here in just 3 weeks. They'll have one more game tomorrow, as will this Western Kentucky team. And another look at some of the final stats. Really good performance from Lauren Hovey, 10 kills. She was the only Falcon other than Kat Manley in double figures. Caitlin Meyer right behind her with 9. Contributions also from Matil, Mia Tyler, Jessica Andrews, and Petra Indrova. On the other side, Jennifer Rush came alive in the back portion of the match. 7 kills for her, 6 for Kennedy Coyle, one of the players we highlighted during the match. Katie Eisenbarger with 3, Callie Bauer 2, and Katie Howard added in another as well. And the Falcon faithful taking high fives around from their team. And that's one thing, this volleyball team very appreciative of their fans. And the fans showed up tonight. They made some noise. And there you see Daniela Tomic. High fives all around. The fans, the students. And a great performance by Bowling Green. And I believe we're going to get to talk to Coach. And Western Kentucky will head into tomorrow morning off a strong performance against Bowling Green. But it was both teams that played well all the way throughout. Kat Manley, a great performance. And now we're getting a chance to catch up with Bowling Green head coach Daniela Tomic. And Coach, it didn't go your way at the end, but it was a hard-fought match all the way throughout, and certainly a great night for Kat Manley.
It was. Well, we are proud of our team. You know, we wish that the outcome was different, but we knew it was going to be a fight. There's a reason why Western Kentucky is ranked 22nd in the nation. I wish that we could have taken this match to the 5th set. This is just something that we have to learn when we get a chance to close the set, to close a match. We have to be a little bit better. But I'm so proud of all of our players. We fought. It wasn't just Kat Manley, it was all of these, you know, we call them game changers who came. We had 3 different lineups in this match in 4 sets. Yeah, that's. I wish again the outcome was better, but Western Kentucky was a better team tonight.
You guys have one more match tomorrow here for this Hampton Invitational that you guys get to host, and then you move on to MAC play. So what have you seen from your team so far that you can take from these first few games in the season, the couple tournaments that you've played in, that can translate once you guys get into conference play?
Well, we have 1 match tomorrow, but then we have 2 more non-conference matches before we open the MAC. So still a lot of non-conference tough competition. We are just learning a lot. We are also finding the identity of this team. We have a lot of depth. We have a lot of talent, which we knew. Now it's just going to be a matter of finding that consistency. Can we find 6 people again who will consistently show up and give us their best? But that's what, again, preseason is for. I know we're going to be really, really ready when we start the MAC at the end of September. But we're going to bounce back. I mean, we have another match tomorrow at 3 against a very good DePaul team. And hopefully, we're going to close with a win here at home.
A great performance for Bowling Green tonight, even though they didn't get the result they wanted. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
So that will do it from us here inside the Stroh Center for our entire crew. For my sort of partner tonight, Samantha Momeyer, who worked from home. You saw her tweets throughout the night. I'm Brandon Lowe saying so long. Western Kentucky Hilltoppers take this one over the Falcons by a final score of 3-1.